Today we're going over hiring your first employee in your lawn care landscape business, or really any business. But that is what I call home. That is the industry that I know. And I know when you get started and you start because you're maybe sick of your boss, maybe because you're like, man, I'm really good at this and I just want to go out there and see what I can do all on my own. A lot of times you go in with just being a technician, and not just to downplay it, but your only real skill so far in that being able to go into business is knowing the technician part of the business, not really the business part of the business. And that can make it hard sometimes to hire your first employee. It can make it challenging. And really, no matter what, whether you know, you don't know, you know a lot, first employee can be hard either way. So we're going to get into that today. We're going to talk about how to find that person, when's the right time, and then really go over some of the stuff that I wish I knew or wish I had a better grasp on or had a better implementation of when I first started. And we're gonna make this quick and concise where you can ask questions in the comments, and as I get the opportunity, I'll respond back to this, because this is one of those videos where a lot of people are gonna ask about this, because everybody's always asking about what do I do about hiring my first employee. So let's get right into this. First, we're gonna talk about assessing the need in your company. When is the time right? That's one of the most common questions I see. When is the right time to hire the first employee? It is not this wild math equation. I mean, some people will tell you there's a math equation, have this much saved up, do this. To me, the right time to hire that first employee is when you see that you trying to go out on your own and do all the work is hindering the growth of the company. Meaning that there's so much going on that I am a huge bottleneck, because we can't get done as much as we could get done. We can't serve as many people. We can't stay on top of things, because if you're busting at the seams with new work and you have it set up where you can get paid with that quickly and efficiently, so you're not waiting on payment, there should be the money to pay someone. Well, if you're busting at the seams with work and you can't take care of it and you keep selling more, you can cause a lot of problems with clients that way as well. And so when you start seeing that, wow, we've got so much going on, we can't keep up, we're kind of feeling like we're gonna drop the ball if I don't have help, that is the time where I start to consider, man, we need someone to help us, I need someone to help me so I can multiply my efforts. Now, the caveat with this, outside of savings or whatever else, there's gonna be a lot of times where you're rolling the dice and you're banking on and betting on yourself to be able to figure it out and make it happen. The caveat to this is, with payments, have it set up early to where you're getting paid quickly, meaning cards on file, you're billing, cash on delivery. Basically, when you serve the project, the service, the whatever, you're immediately getting paid directly after that. That's going to allow you to fund a new employee, because typically if you have an employee, they work a week, they don't get paid that Friday of that week, they get paid the following Friday. If you're always getting paid as you do things, it makes it easier to bring someone on and then start leveraging that. Okay, I got one person, now we're able to do more. Are you going to be able to do double? Probably not. You're going to be able to do more. And you, as an owner, if you hire someone, now someone could be out on a job and you could go sell some other things and you could start sewing this together better and better. So I look at when to hire the first person, really based on the workflow is there. We have so much incoming that we're starting to drop the ball, and I need help to get it all done. I'm gonna have to start turning people down. The other part of this is you're always like, well, what if the work goes away? Well, no matter what the company size is, that is a fear and a looming question. You need to keep doing all the things that got the work there and keep pushing those harder, and have faith that it's going to work out, because you're going to get up against the wall where there's no work. You're still going to have to figure that out. And that might not happen at 2 employees. That might happen at 15 or 5 or whatever. So that's the first part, assessing that need. Number 2 is having a job description for said employee. Now, if you're just starting off and say it's a lawn care landscaping company, you're probably going to be the crew leader, foreman, whatever you call the lead position, and you're hiring for a crew member. So whatever that helper, assistant, crew member is, whatever they're going to be doing, have that titled as a job description title, and then some of the things that you're going to be expecting from that person, so they have an idea of what they're walking into. It makes it much easier to say, hey, this is what we're hiring for, and they have the clear kind of expectations of what that role is going to do. Now, after you do this, and we kind of have this lined out, and you're thinking about these things that role can do based off of, if I had help in this, and this area, we would be able to go out and grow the company and do more. And if you're small, don't worry about, like, you don't have the office, you don't have the thing, you're working out of your garage. You're pitching, if you're trying to grow a big company, right now you're pitching the goal of, this is going to be big, we're going to keep multiplying, we're going to keep hiring, and my vision is this. if you want it to be big, this is not even in kind of, I wasn't even going to talk about this at first, and now I realize the importance is you need to have a vision so big that everybody else's vision can fit inside of that, so you can cast that vision even from the beginning. If you don't have any vision, and this is one of the things, I had a big goal, but I didn't have a big enough vision and a way of casting it early on. It's going to be hard to attract. It's already hard to attract those first few and get those first few right people, but it's going to be even harder without some kind of clear vision. That's something I could have done so much better from the beginning. Now, after that, we're going to get right into like the legality of it. You need to look up your state rules, your state laws, get with potentially an attorney, or just read into what all you need to have to hire someone. Workman's comp as an insurance, what kind of forms, what kind of, your W-2s filled out, have all of your T's crossed and your I's dotted. You also are going to want to get into what kind of employee sign-off and handbook stuff can you have in place to protect the company, to protect the employee, and to make things black and white. So often, I kind of did the same thing. We had a handbook, but we go in very, very loose and just, hey, I need someone. Okay, we got them. Great, I met this person. They really seem like they're going to be jamming. And we just treat it like everybody treats every relationship. The beginning of every relationship's awesome. It's honeymoon. Everybody loves it. Nobody thinks about when it goes to a total catastrophe zone. Not that every relationship does that, but when some make a turn for the worse, it's ugly, right? You want to prepare for in case that happens up front, so you can be better prepared in your business to move forward and pivot in those situations. So that's kind of where the legal stuff and knowing about that and asking an advisor or someone who is educated in that in your area, typically a CPA can help you with some of this, so you have the right documentation in place. Now we're going to get right into finding the people. Like we've already talked about job description, having right documentation, all of these things, and that we actually need the person. But finding the people, that's the thing that everybody in GROW Comm asks, and everybody's always asking. All tools really work, right? I'm sure ZipRecruiter works, I'm sure Indeed works, I'm sure that works. But if you're getting started, I would even go, friends, unfortunately, all the ones we've hired, we've ended up pretty much letting go of. And that's just because we didn't treat them any different than anybody else. We're here to win, and if you're not a fit for that, eventually it's not going to work out. That doesn't make it wrong to look towards friends, look towards people. I think that that's typically bad advice to try to be pushing that forever, but they could be some of the people that leverage you and make it easier to take off. My dad helped me in the beginning, and a few friends helped me in the beginning. So that is a piece. If you're looking for straight up hiring people that are outside of your network, there is Indeed, there is Facebook jobs, there is just marketing and putting a post out on Facebook, right? There's all of these options. It's just like marketing for work to get your name out there and tell people that you're hiring. I still think that the network of people and asking them, do they know anyone? This doesn't have to be a friend. This could be a relation through a network, could lead to great opportunities for you to fill that first position. And then you're going to need to lean on this more and more as you scale your company to create a way to have constant inflow of new people, so you can always be interviewing, so you can always keep all of the seats full. But that's a little on down the road. Those are some of the easy ways that I would look right at the beginning. And is there a perfect way that's going to get you the best employee? There's no silver bullet in anything. If this shit was easy, everybody do it. So stop thinking that. Now, the things we're going to get in, as promised, to the things that I wish I did better. And that is 1, set expectations, and 2, focusing on culture. I feel like we always focused on culture pretty well, but setting expectations. If you had that job description better in place, which I didn't in the beginning, if you could have that better in place and quickly just jotted down a rough job description. If you need help building out a job description, go to Indeed and search for the position you're trying to hire for of jobs and look at other people's job descriptions. Go on ChatGPT, type it in and get some ideas from it. Go on Google and say, hey, job description, so-and-so, crew member or landscaping company. You're going to get ideas to build yours. The better you can build this, the better you can set expectations. Over a course of time, I realized that if something's not in writing that you can give to someone outlining the description of their job, you can't hold them accountable to anything. If efficiency, and it's kind of like values, are a thing to help set expectations and hold people accountable, if you don't have values in place, how do people know how we are operating the company and what we're living by? If they don't know accountability is a value and urgency is a value, how do they know that those are paramount things in the company that need to be focused on? And so with setting expectations, the expectations of performance, the expectations of how we treat people, the expectations of all of these things, the more we can have this documented and lined out and communicated clearly for clear understanding so everyone can get on the same boat here, the same bus, and drive in the same direction, because alignment and communication are key in a company, the more success you'll have. So setting expectations and being able to make those clear of what winning looks like in the company and what losing looks like in the company, so you don't get into the situation where, oh, I assumed they would understand it. That's what we all say. Put someone in a situation, we think that it's common sense, and then we get to, as a removal of the actual accountability, we get to say, well, I assumed they would know that. Or even if you don't say it, you think, oh, I assumed they would fucking know that. Well, they don't. And you didn't make it clear. And you assumed, and assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Well, you need to take full accountability for people's success. Even if they do something blatantly wrong, you still freaking hired them. It's your fault, right? Sooner you can live by that. I didn't live by that at the beginning as much as I should have. The more results and the better success you'll have. Now, finally, what I said, the culture part, we did a pretty good part of this. We did pretty well with this. Culture is everything. As you grow and scale a company, a culture of winning, a culture of competition, a culture of fun together, a culture of killing it together, a culture of people who overall, they don't have to be best friends, but they don't hate seeing each other. Because the feedback we've had in our company and what has become better over time, and I don't feel like it was, everything's always getting better. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. It's easy to look back and be like, we're light years better because we've made progress, but even then we were focusing on being better. But really seeing and getting the feedback that people don't dread coming to work in the morning. That's good culture. Because there's a lot of jobs out there where people look at the watch and say, God, I gotta be to work in 15 minutes. Man, fucking another day of these horrible people in this horrible place with a boss I hate. Some people can end up blaming it on the work. A lot of times it's not even the work, it's the people, it's the culture, the feeling, it's in the air. It's like when you walk into a room with someone who's just a negative Nancy. You don't even have to talk to those people for them to suck the life out of you. And you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you've got a company of soul suckers and a person comes in, well, their soul's gonna get sucked as well. And you can't expect anything good out of your culture. So you gotta kill cancer in your company and keep a big focus on keeping things pointed in the right direction. And this is gonna ebb and flow as you grow. And we're talking about being out of just one, but everything's easier to start with one. As you grow and start having more people, this becomes more and more and more of a focus all the time, so you can keep things in the right lane. So that is hiring your first employee. Some of the things that you should be thinking about, some of the things that I wish I would have done better. Leave in the comments below, what were the biggest problems you had? What were the biggest success things? Where did you find the best employees? How long has your longest employee stayed with you? And then like this video, subscribe, and share this with someone else that this video could help.